Is LinkedIn good for realtors? If you've been trying to figure out if LinkedIn is a social network that can help you in your real estate business, stay tuned. By the time we're done, you're going to have the information you need to make an educated decision. First, we'll answer if the type of real estate that you specialize in matters when it comes to using LinkedIn. Next, we'll talk about some of the tactics you can use for leveraging LinkedIn for commercial real estate specifically. Lastly, we're going to look at how you can leverage LinkedIn for residential real estate, and it might surprise you what I'm suggesting. You ready to get started? Let's go. So when it comes to real estate, especially in terms of using it on LinkedIn, it does matter if you're doing commercial or residential real estate. Now, that doesn't mean that LinkedIn can't work for you in either direction, but the way you use the social network will be very different. Because in one aspect, when we're thinking about residential, it's B2C. When you're looking at commercial, it's B2B. And in any kind of business, B2B and B2C, from a marketing and even relationship building standpoint, is very different. For instance, you see more things like influencers being used in B2C. That doesn't quite work exactly the same in B2B. So our strategy is going to be different. So it's very important for us to identify if you specialize in one of these two. Now, I know that occasionally there's people that do both. My suggestion would be look at which one brings you the most revenue and focus a little bit more on that one. You're going to want to lean into one strategy over the other, but you get to choose which one's the right one for you. So when it comes to commercial real estate, not only is LinkedIn a good social network for you to use, but it is the best social network for commercial real estate agents. Why? Because it's the only social network that's really all about business. Each social network has a culture. And just like in real life, different cultures kind of have different rules of engagement. On LinkedIn, it really is all about business. People don't typically want to see pictures of our babies or pictures of our cats or videos of our babies riding our cats. They're really interested in business there. And it doesn't mean we can't show a little bit of our personality, but the end goal is business. Whereas on other social networks like Facebook, it's a little bit more laid back. People are just trading all kinds of information. If we look at a social network like Instagram, it's much more entertainment based. TikTok is completely entertainment based. There's some educational components too. But if you look at the overall purpose of these social networks, they're very different. So if you're in commercial real estate, if you're going to choose a social network to focus on, LinkedIn, in my opinion, would be the number one social network for you. So let's talk about some of the ways that you can use LinkedIn if you're focusing on commercial real estate. If you're residential, hold on a moment, we're going to get to you, but let's focus on our commercial friends for just a moment, and then they'll return the favor later. So there's a few things that you can look for. Number one, leveraging advanced search. So whether you're operating as a typical commercial realtor, if you're doing some business brokering as well, one of the things you can do with advanced search is you can start to look for people based on their positions, the types of organizations that they work for. Maybe you're looking for people that are in a position to buy your business because they're in the same industry. But using advanced search will give you access to people specifically by their industry, by their title, by their organization, or even by their location. So if you're trying to identify potential buyers or potential sellers, LinkedIn is amazing for that. The next thing that you want to do is join groups, but specifically joining groups of your peers, because oftentimes you all work together in tandem to get transactions done for commercial, and even potential buyers. So for instance, there are people that do commercial real estate that focus primarily on restaurants. So you want to make sure that you're joining groups on LinkedIn that's filled with people that would either be buying restaurants, selling restaurants, financing restaurants, inspecting restaurants. You want to be completely submersed in that industry. And LinkedIn gives you a unique opportunity to get into those groups. Now you might be asking yourself, why should I do that? I'm not going to be in there answering questions all day. My suggestion would be if you do see someone ask a question and you have an answer, it is helpful from time to time just to come in there and help people out. But the more important thing is this. When you're in a group with someone on LinkedIn, when they're typing in, let's say they're typing in commercial realtor Houston, you pop up higher in their search results because you share a group with them. So there's the magic. LinkedIn allows you to join up to 50 groups. So I would try to join as many groups as you can. Doesn't mean you have to be active in them, but that's going to get you up in ranking when it comes to people searching for you and what you do. And one of the last things you can use is ads within LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn does have pixels like other social networks. On LinkedIn, they call them insight tags, but pixels are basically the piece of code that you take from a social network and that goes to the back end of your website that tracks when people come from your website to social media. So for instance, there have been times where you've been on a website, you're looking to purchase something, maybe you don't follow through with the purchase, you go on your social network and boop, there it is right in front of you. And you're like, they're stalking me. Kind of, they're using pixels, or in this case, insight tags. So start leveraging those and putting those on your website as well, even if you're not running ads just yet. That way people who have been on your website, who might be good potential clients or referral partners or some other type of contact in the industry, that way you can show ads to them a little bit later. So we're going to get to the residential in just a moment. And I've actually done quite a few videos on using social media in real estate, so feel free to look those up. But I just want to let you know we do have videos that are dedicated almost exclusively to residential real estate people. So let's go into just a few tips just for the case of this video for our residential folks as well. I'm not going to say that LinkedIn is the very best social network for real estate professionals when it comes to those that focus on residential. I'm not saying it can't work, but if you only had to choose 1 to 2 social networks, that would not be it. Now, I've had the benefit of speaking to realtors all over the world. I've spoken to CRS, so this is the highest designated realtors in the United States. I've spoken in many different states. I've spoken to realtors in Spain and Portugal, so I've seen this from many different angles. My suggestion would be if you're going to use a social network like LinkedIn, though, that's for your business connections. And so that is where you build referral partners. That's not where you're going to typically find people who are looking to purchase a house. I'm not saying there's no strategy for doing that, but typically LinkedIn's a little bit more on that B2B aspect. So start looking for ways to connect with inspectors, look for ways to connect with mortgage lenders, bankers, financial advisors, anyone who could likely send you someone that would be a good client when it comes to buying or selling their home. If you are wondering which social network would be best for you if you do residential real estate, I would say that really depends on the country that you're in. In the United States, depending on the age bracket you're looking at, it could be Instagram, it could be Facebook. If you're in another country, there's different popular social networks that people use. And so you want to make sure that you're adapting to where your potential clients are versus just using something because it's popular. So in either case, whether you focus on commercial or residential real estate, the big piece about LinkedIn is to focus on the networking business aspect. You want to show yourself as an industry expert and develop trust over time. So that might be posting articles, that might be posting videos, and you might be tempted just to post links to other people's articles, and that's okay, but that doesn't really show thought leadership. So even if you're going to share articles, you might create a few sentences above that article where you're sharing your thoughts, where you're pointing people to specific parts. Or if you really want to be loved, have you ever heard of the term TLDR, too long, didn't read? What that means is that people are overwhelmed now and they don't read as long a post as they used to. So you can post an article, but above it say TLDR, my short version for you, and give them in like 1 to 2, maybe even 3 sentences, an overview of what they need to know. But click the article if you want the full details. They'll love you because you're keeping them up to date on the information they need and you're saving them time. So if you're interested in using LinkedIn for business, it's because you're planning for the future of your business. You want more clients going forward. I'm also interested in the future of your business. You're going to find that in the description of this video, there's a link to download a Future Ready Playbook. This playbook is chock full of activities and worksheets that will help you better prepare more strategically for the future. So if you haven't already downloaded it, go ahead and do it right now.